Joshua Holt here with the Holt Real Estate Team and Keller Williams Realty. I'm here with Joe Lawn of Guild Mortgage here in Madison. And I wanted to bring Joe along today to talk about some of the strategies that he has seen work for buyers in this challenging real estate market that we've been facing for the last few years.
So most markets around the country are having historically low inventory, and that means that there just aren't that many homes for sale in the first-time home buyer price range. So it's not that uncommon that a first-time home buyer would end up in competition with 1 to even 10 other buyers, right? And so we've had to get pretty crafty and strategic so that we can make our buyers' offers stand out to sellers and try to get our buyers every single advantage that we can, right? So there are a couple of strategies that a buyer can use during their offer writing process and to give themselves as much of an advantage as possible to get their offer accepted.
So what would you say are maybe, the top 2 or 3 strategies that you've seen? Obviously you're seeing offers, a lot of offers coming through, and when you see a buyer come across an accepted offer, what are some things that you're seeing that have really stood out that you think has helped them win that accepted offer?
Yeah, so believe it or not, it's not all about price, okay? So it is about price, right?
Sure.
We have to give the seller the amount of money that they're looking for their transaction, but a lot of times the seller is also looking for peace of mind. So the first thing I would say is having a buyer's agent, somebody representing you, that's going to communicate well with the listing agent on the other side and find out what that seller's really looking for.
Sure.
Okay, so sometimes we have a seller who is looking to relocate across country. They've got a job offer they've accepted, and they've got to go. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it's a divorce situation, and things aren't good, and they're looking to get out of there. Okay, and so if your agent can find out when the seller wants to close, and you're able to potentially close quickly, or give them the exact date that they're looking for, that's something that you can do. Okay. I've also seen that sometimes the seller is in a situation where they may have inherited that house. Mm-hmm. Again, it could be a divorce situation. The seller could have lost a job and become insolvent, okay? And in those cases, I think that as much as price does matter, having contingencies that are suitable to the seller's situation also matter, okay?
Tell me more about that.
Yeah, so traditionally, some offers have more contingencies than this, but most offers have a financing contingency, an inspection contingency, and an appraisal contingency. So if I am a seller and I've inherited a house, right? This is maybe my grandparents' house, maybe my parents' house, and it's come to me through the estate. I might be worried that before I get to the closing table on my transaction, I'm going to be out some money.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So if the inspection comes back and the buyer asks me for 1, 2, 3, or many repairs, and that repair bill starts to add up, I'm going to be concerned about that because I'm not trying to put money into this house. I'm trying to sell it and settle the estate.
Right.
So I found that in situations where if you can figure that out and offer something called inspection forgiveness, which is where maybe you don't waive that inspection contingency, but you maybe forgive the first $1,000 or $2,000 in repairs,
yep,
then you can give the seller the peace of mind that they're not going to have to come out of pocket to fix anything unless it's something that you all don't realize is bad and is a big ticket thing. And the buyer can still retain the peace of mind that they're not going to walk into some big problem. They know what they're getting.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think that's the win-win.
Yep.
So another thing that I think is really big is to use something called a TBD underwrite. So this is something that we started doing a couple of years ago, and we've had immense success with it. And it used to be that there were pre-qualification letters, which hopefully no one's doing anymore, but if you go back and look at any of our previous videos, you'll know that that's just an antique. Mm-hmm. And pre-approvals have kind of become the standard, where we've looked at your credit, we've looked at your income documentation, we've done a thorough review, and we've given you a letter saying you can go and buy the house. We've now taken that a step further, and we will underwrite the loan before the buyer goes out shopping. So it's a TBD underwrite because the loan is completely underwritten, subject to title insurance, a valid contract, insurance, and the appraisal. These are all things you can't get until you're under contract.
Right.
What that does is, if you need to give the seller a quick closing date, you're able to do that. We're able to call the listing agent and reassure them that even though this is a financed offer, the hard work of the credit and the income underwriting has been done. And so we're able to alleviate a lot of the stress that the seller might potentially have over a financed offer. And if you're in a situation where you're competing, especially with a local TBD versus a pre-approval letter or a pre-qual, and maybe an online pre-qual, you're going to have a distinct advantage just there, right? So that's not, again, dollars. That's something tangible that you're able to do to give the seller the peace of mind. And then there are a couple more things that you can do. There's some appraisal forgiveness that you can do. Not something I would really think hard about, but it's something that an expert agent is going to walk you through. There are things you can do, like offer a little bit more earnest money. Okay, there can be downsides to doing that as well, but it's something that you can do to show the seller that you're very, very serious and you're less likely, again, to nickel and dime them or to go elsewhere. And so as a result of that, you can kind of curry some favor that way. These are all things that you can do to stand out besides just paying more money for the house. So I think a combination of those strategies can really help you win in this market.
So if I'm hearing and understanding what you're saying, and certainly the experience that I've had working with buyers is, it's not always all about price. Price is important, yet there are a lot of other strategies that you could put into play that could help you stand out amongst the crowd, especially in this real estate market where inventory is so tight.
Yeah, I mean, I think that certainly a well-trained listing agent, if none of these contingencies have been addressed, is going to see the one offer that's, $10,000 more than the rest of them and think, that's cute, we're getting that now. But later on, when they get their inspection and their appraisal, they're going to try to talk us back down, right? That may or may not be true, but that's the perception that I think they're going to get. And so I think using a combination of finding out what the seller wants, making sure you've done a TBD underwrite, and then addressing the contingencies appropriately, along with a strong offer, is your best chance of getting accepted in this market right now.
Right. So, I mean, we're still talking about the importance of having, a smart offer, yet these are some great strategies that buyers could put into practice that hopefully could help them stand out. So
Certainly, I've worked with Josh many, many times, and he's abreast of these things. He'll do a great job for you. If you are, wanting to learn more, I would talk to Josh about this. And certainly, if you're in a situation where you're getting frustrated and you haven't had any luck with your search, maybe some of these things are tools that can help you out to help you win.
Great. Well, Joe, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us today and share your knowledge with our folks out there. And once again, this is Joshua Holt with the Holt Real Estate team at Keller Williams Realty, and I'm here with Joe Lawn with Guild Mortgage. If you need any assistance with home finance, Joe is a great resource. I'll be happy to connect you with him if you're looking to do that TBD underwrite or get that pre-approval. And as always, if you have any questions about the local real estate market or looking to buy, sell, or create wealth in real estate, give me a call, 608-345-6594, or email me at jdholt@kw.com. Thank you so much.